Hello, lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. And together, we're here to make learning English fun and easy.
That's right, Alan. Today, by special request from one of our listeners, we're diving into prepositions.
Oh yeah, prepositions. They're those little words that show the relationship between things, right?
Exactly. And today, we're going to focus on 10 important ones about, above, below, under, beside, between, from, at, by, with.
Fantastic. Let's break them down one by one, starting with about.
Right? So about can mean concerning or regarding something. For example, we're talking about English vocabulary today.
That's right. And some synonyms for about include concerning, regarding, or pertaining to.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of about in sentences. 1. How about we go for a walk in the park?
2. I'm worried about my English exam tomorrow.
3. Let's talk about our favorite movies.
4. I'm excited about our upcoming vacation.
5. What do you think about learning new words every day?
Great example, Sophie. And now it's time for our special segment, Dialogue Time.
In this segment, we'll hear a conversation between two people where the word we've just explained is included.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
We're discussing plans for the weekend.
Oh, cool. Can I join?
Sure, we're just talking about going hiking.
Sounds like fun.
What a simple and natural use of the word about.
Absolutely. Now let's share our thoughts on the dialogue. It felt so casual and easy to understand, didn't it?
Definitely. It showed how about is used in everyday conversations. So what's up next, Alan?
Next up is the preposition above. Let's get into it.
Alrighty. So above typically means higher than something else, like when you hold your hands above your head.
Yes, and some synonyms for above include over, on top of, or higher than.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of above in sentences.
1. The sun is shining above the clouds.
2. Hang the picture above the sofa.
3. The bird is flying above the trees.
4. Look at the stars above us.
5. Put the book back on the shelf above the desk.
Wonderful examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment.
Where did you put the keys?
They're above the microwave.
Thanks, I found them.
No problem.
Ah, such a clear use of above in a simple conversation.
Absolutely, it's so important to understand how prepositions like above are used in everyday interactions.
Exactly. All right, folks, next up is the preposition below. Let's explore it together.
All right, diving into below. This word typically means lower than something else, like when you put your shoes below the bed.
That's right. And some synonyms for below include under, beneath, or lower than.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of below in sentences. 1. The keys are below the newspaper on the table.
2. The fish swim below the surface of the water.
3. Put your shoes below the coat rack.
4. The temperature is dropping below freezing tonight.
5. The restaurant is located below the movie theater.
Great examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment.
Where's my phone charger?
It's below the desk, next to the power strip.
Got it, thanks.
No problem.
Another simple and clear use of below in a conversation.
Absolutely, it's so helpful to hear these words in context, don't you think?
Definitely. All right, folks, next up is the preposition under. Let's explore it further.
All right, now let's talk about under. This word typically means beneath or below something else, like when you hide a toy under your bed.
Exactly. And some synonyms for under include beneath, below, or beneath.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of under in sentences. 1. The cat is hiding under the table.
2. Put your coat under your chair.
3. The book is under the pillow.
4. The dog likes to sleep under the bed.
5. The keys are under the newspaper.
Great examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment.
Let's dive in.
Have you seen my glasses?
They're under the magazine on the coffee table.
Thanks, I found them.
No problem.
Another clear and simple example of under in everyday conversation.
Absolutely. It's important for learners to hear these words used naturally.
Definitely. All right, listeners. Next up is the preposition beside. Let's explore it together.
This word typically means next to or alongside something else, like when you sit beside your friend in class.
Right. And some synonyms for beside include next to, alongside, or by.
Now let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of beside in sentences.
1. Sit beside me on the bench.
2. The cat is sleeping beside the fireplace.
3. Put your bag beside mine.
4. There's a park beside the school.
5. The restaurant is beside the movie theater. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment.
Let's listen in.
Can you pass me the salt, please?
It's right beside you on the table.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
Another straightforward use of beside in everyday conversation.
Absolutely. It's essential for learners to hear these words in context. Now, let's delve into between. This word typically denotes the space or position separating two objects or individuals, like when you sit between two friends.
That's right. And some synonyms for between include among, amid, or in the middle of.
Now let's provide our listeners with 5 straightforward examples of between in sentences. 1. The cat is sitting between the 2 pillows.
2. Share the cookies between you and your brother.
3. The library is located between the school and the park.
4. The store is open between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
5. The playground is between the 2 apartment buildings.
Excellent examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment with the word between.
Let's have a listen.
Which movie do you want to watch tonight?
Let's decide between action hero and romantic comedy.
I'm in the mood for some action.
Great, action hero it is.
Another clear and simple use of between in everyday conversation.
Absolutely. It's crucial for learners to grasp how prepositions like between are utilized naturally. Now, let's dive into from. This word typically indicates the point of origin or starting point of something, like when you receive a gift from a friend.
Right. And some synonyms for from include out of, off, or originating at.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of from in sentences. 1. I'm from Canada.
2. The train is departing from platform 3.
3. I received a letter from my grandma.
4. Let's start the story from the beginning.
5. We're driving from New York to Boston.
Fantastic examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment. Today's word is from.
Let's take a listen.
Where did you get that beautiful necklace?
I got it from my sister as a birthday present.
That's so thoughtful of her.
Yeah, she knows my taste well.
Another clear and simple use of from in everyday conversation.
Absolutely. It's essential for learners to hear these words in context.
Oh, good catch, Alan. All right, let's quickly cover the last 3 prepositions. At, by, and with.
Absolutely. So starting with at, this word typically indicates a specific location or position, like when you meet someone at the park.
Right. And some synonyms for at include in, on, or near.
Now let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of at in sentences.
1. We're meeting at the restaurant at 7 p.m.
2. I'm good at playing the guitar.
3. The cat is sleeping at the foot of the bed.
4. I work at the hospital as a nurse.
5. Look at the stars at night. Great examples, Alan. Now let's move on to our dialogue time segment with the preposition at.
Where should we meet for lunch?
Let's meet at the cafe downtown.
Sounds good. See you there at 12 o'clock.
Perfect. I'll grab us a table.
I love how clear and practical that dialogue was. It showed a common scenario of making plans to meet somewhere, using it naturally.
Absolutely. It's a great example of how prepositions like at are used in everyday conversations. Simple and effective.
Now let's move on to the preposition by. This word typically indicates the method or manner in which something is done, like when you travel by bus.
Exactly. And some synonyms for by include through, via, or using.
Now let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of by in sentences.
1. Let's go by car to the beach.
2. I like to read books by my favorite author.
3. We can pay by credit card or cash.
4. I travel to work by train every day.
5. She painted the picture by using watercolors.
Wonderful examples, Alan. Now, let's move on to our dialogue time segment with the preposition by.
How are you getting to the concert tonight?
I'm going by taxi because the bus takes too long.
That's smart. We don't want to be late.
Exactly, we should arrive by 7 p.m.
This dialogue nicely demonstrates the use of by to indicate the method of transportation. It's something everyone can relate to, making it easy for learners to understand.
Definitely. It's important for learners to grasp how prepositions like by can change the meaning of a sentence. This dialogue does a great job of illustrating that.
And last but not least, let's cover with. This word typically indicates association or accompaniment, like when you go to the movies with your friends.
Right. And some synonyms for with include together, along, or accompanied by.
Now, let's give our listeners 5 easy examples of with in sentences.
1. I'm going to the party with my friends.
2. Can I have my coffee with milk, please?
3. She always carries her phone with her.
4. Let's cook dinner together with Mom.
5. I'm studying English with a tutor.
Excellent examples, Alan. Now let's move on to our dialogue time segment with the preposition with.
Who are you going to the party with?
I'm going with my roommate and her friends.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Can I come with?
Of course, the more the merrier.
Ah, this one's lovely. It shows how with is used to indicate companionship or association. It's a simple yet effective way to showcase the versatility of prepositions.
Absolutely. Whether it's going to a party or doing an activity together, with is such a common preposition, this dialogue makes it easy for learners to see how it's used in context.
And with that, we've covered all 10 prepositions for today's episode.
That's right, Sophie. Thanks for keeping me on track. All right, listeners, now it's time to wrap up.
We hope you found today's episode helpful and enjoyable. Remember, keep practicing your English, and don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or topics you'd like us to cover.
That's right. Until next time, happy learning.
Bye-bye, lovely listeners.